G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm David and today we've got this collected bougainvillea back on the bench. I don't really have enough work on this to make a full video of, so my future self is going to tack on the next few little things that we do to it. How far in the future it goes, well, that depends on future me, and future me I think is pretty impatient, so there may not be a lot, but anyway, we'll see how far we get. This is all the growth since the last time that we worked on it. If you remember back to last time, we left it with absolutely nothing. There was not a leaf on the thing. It had a bit more than this on it. I had this sitting outside waiting to film. We had a rainstorm and it's come down and it's knocked a few branches off. It's broken this one off down here too, so that'll go. But we do have that nice shoot out there still. There's a little one out the back here. So there is, and there's these three big ones. So all we really need to do today is probably choose one of these to become our new leader. Get rid of this dead stuff, try and tidy that up. I was going to try and cut that off and tidy that up, but I don't know if that's a good idea seeing as I only have these couple little shoots. I reckon we might leave that for another day. I may even carve into that and try and carve that away from the back. Might be a safer option. So what I've pretty much settled on for this tree is we've got some good movement in the trunk here. So I'd probably like to just get a branch growing out here. We'll get this leader to come out this way, tidy that up, and we'll sort of have, hang on. So we'll sort of have one going out that way somewhere. Well, it's on the inside of a curve, so I don't know. I may trim all that off yet. I'm only running through ideas in my head. One leader will come out this side, and we'll probably let that run for a little while. Although it is awkward to carry the way it is, so I may trim it back and let it go again once I get it moved up. But anyway, we don't want the three here because that's just going to create weird looking shit there. But which one to choose, I don't know. I really sometimes wish I had somebody here that knew what they were doing. This one here is sort of growing from the end of that. So that would sort of help with taper into that branch. But it's at the back of the tree. I'm fairly confident that's at the back of the tree. This one's at the front. So if we left that, we could probably clean up all that stuff at the back, cut that off on an angle, and just let that run. Maybe cut it back to here somewhere so that the next shoot comes out this way a little bit, which will tend to push the growth this way. And then I was hoping we could sort of come up with a branch up to here somewhere and then just start ramifying and get a canopy up here. And then a canopy on this one here too. And then when it flowers, you're just going to have that full coverage of apricot coloured flowers for this one. I don't know about this. What do you reckon about this on the inside of a curve? It's generally considered a no-no. I mean, I guess once I've cut this off and cut the two off that I don't want, maybe it'll shoot something out here. Could we then look at leaving the first branch to here and then still develop your canopy over this side and just have your branch coming out there? That might be the idea if we can get it to shoot from there. But I don't want to cut anything more off this thing than I have to. It's really only for forcing the growth in the direction it needs to go. And once I select one of these, which I'm pretty sure, I'm going to do the front one, bugger it. The front one will look better. I can cut all this shit off on the back, cut this knob off on an angle, and then if we get something shooting from here somewhere, then we can use that as a branch and ditch that. Sound like a plan? We'll go with that. We're just going to have to go down on an angle like that. It might not look too bad, especially once we do this as well. Ugh. How's that? Probably needs some more cut off that. Oh, this poor bogey. He's going to regret the day he'd ever come to live with me, I tell you. I don't know if that was a smart idea, but anyway. My thinking is that that'll push the bud out here. That'll just get a bit of movement in that branch and push it over this way a little bit. I probably should even prop the side of the pot up to get it to grow that way. So when I take it back up, I might even put a brick or something under this side just to get it to grow in that direction, because as it is, as you saw, everything just wants to grow straight up and down. Anyway, that'll do. And we'll roll it forward a bit now to, I don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be about a month before we get this thing back, but I'll write it on the screen somewhere. So, see you in a minute. Righto, so fast forward about, I don't know, feels like a couple of months to me, but might be longer than that. Got a lot of new growth on this bogey. Once it started shooting out from where we cut it last time, I tilted the pot up on an angle so that this was pointing straight up, and that just let it grow in that direction. And then once that branch set into position, I leveled it back up again. So yeah, today I'm actually going to pull it out of this pot. I am going to try and get it into a bonsai pot. This is probably about the only one that I have that's anywhere near suitable. It's a pretty cheap, nasty pot, not very strong. I hope I don't break it while I'm trying to put this thing into it, but that's my plan for today. Cut it all back, and then as it reshoots over the next couple of months, we can actually start to develop an apex up the top and work all these branches into some sort of a nice triangular foliage mass. Yeah, something that'll complement the trunk a little bit. I'll get it out of its pot, move the camera forward so you can see what's going on, because at the moment I had to move it back and, yeah, whatever. I'll get it out and we'll do some stuff. Don't break the pot. Cheap, nasty pot. Don't break the pot. Oh. One thing that's worth bearing in mind with these that I haven't learnt yet, should wear shoes when you're working with bogies. The amount of times I've stepped on this thing's branches, but no, haven't learnt. Righto. I am hoping, and I feel like it will, grow a lot more roots in a more free draining mix. Like, it seems to grow really well at the moment. Even getting more roots shoot off of here now, which is good. Actually, there's a lot more root growth on there than when the last time I had it out of the pot, which is good. Might just check initial size, see if we're going to go close. Right, we should go fairly close. I reckon I'll cut some of this side off so that it can sit over that side in the pot. Maybe even lean it that way a little. Not sure, but I reckon that's what I'm going to do. But, alright, first things first, make this thing easier to handle. Most of this big branch here we're not going to use, right? At most, I'm probably going to start branching something out of here somewhere, so that can go. Throw that over the back where I can stand on it later. I don't know about this one, but I reckon no more than that. All right, now we've got something we can handle. There's one on the back here that I broke when I was moving it down here. It's still a very soft shoot, that one, so I'll try not to break that. Right, I'll move the camera in a little so we're not so bloody far away. Something like that. Righto. We've got the medium-sized pruner. If you're wondering what the large pruner is, check out the lightning strike tree video. I'll use my large pruner in that one. Anyway, what do we have? Will that sit? I can spin it around. Sort of, not really. It's not very attractive from the back here. I'm really sold on this being the front. Oh. We've got a few different angles that we can use. If we want at some point we can cut this back if we want to use this angle, because that'll all be subsoil then probably. But I would like to see a bit more root growth off this end. I think the majority of the root growth at the moment is coming off this other end, so I don't think I want to touch that too much. So in order to get it into a pot, I think I'll end up cutting this off. We won't really lose too much root growth by doing that. There's bugger all, in fact, on any of that. So I reckon that's going to be our first step. Beautiful. Righto, how does that look? For getting it into, that's still only just into the pot, isn't it? There's a lot of that. This subsurface, I don't know. I reckon we could probably cut some of that off too. I just don't know how susceptible to rot any of this is. But like I always say, bugger it, give it a go. Don't break the pot. So close. So close. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of roots coming right off the tip here where it's been pruned before. It's sent out a whole heap of roots, and I don't know if I want to cut too much off of that. Although, it has sent a lot of roots off here, which does give me hope that if that's, we can set our soil level there somewhere, and I could probably even cut some of that off and still retain a lot of the roots. I might even go with that. Yep, we'll fit it in. We're going to get it in this pot. Right, let's have a look here. What have we got? We also have this piece sticking up at the back here that I don't know that we really need. How hard would that be to get off? Now we're cooking. I wonder if something like that, I think this would go because it's just going to obscure the front of the tree. But we have a nice start up here. If we can get this to fork out and then just start to ramify everything out into a nice little canopy there. We've got a couple of branches here to work with. Got one on the back here, which is leaning forward probably because of where I have this pot sitting. This side gets shaded a lot, so it sort of tends to grow out. But now that it's going to go into a bonsai pot, it can be moved to a better location. It does look like it's got a big humpback. I'm going to call it the Humpback Bougie. Might be a good name for it. But I think we've got a good start there that we can work with. We may look at trimming some of these back. I reckon I'll wait until I've got something that I can grind that with rather than getting that big reciprocating blade in and risking just hacking everything else up. I'll wait until I've got a grinding tool and try and get that in like that. But yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. Do I want to tie this thing in? Normally I would absolutely tie the tree in. This pot is just so thin, just pulling up on the bottom with those wires, I am concerned I'll just rip the arse out of that pot, so I probably don't want to do that right now. This tree's going to sit fairly deep in this pot, so I don't want too much of a mound in the middle. Right, I'll probably go, oh, this is so hard doing it from the back. I think I need to lean it away a little bit too. Because the very top of this tree comes forward so far, if I stand the trunk straight up and down, it's going to be really leaning forward. So I think the whole thing just needs to be leaning back that bit, and then it can come forward, and then obviously it's going to go back. That's probably not too bad like that. Righto, now we'll just work our way around and let all that material fall into all the gaps. Just jab the chopstick in, circular motion, just helps that material to fall in and settle down into all the holes. It would be good to be able to pull this tree out in a year or two. I'm guessing probably 1 year, the way they grow here. And see a whole heap of fine roots. That would be the ultimate of what I would like to see. Now, does it need anything else for this initial pot up? I don't think so. There's a bit jutting up there. There's a bit of this is jutting up at the back. I really think I should wait until I have a tool that I can grind those with. I really need a die grinder or something like that with a grinding bit. And just shape, so I can shape them up as I go. Plus that piece there will go. We may even try and taper that a little bit more, just so we can't see any of that scar. But overall the scars aren't too bad on this thing. I'd probably, again, if I had a grinding tool, this could have been ground out a bit so that, because it is starting to heal over, but it's, you know, it lips up over wood that's left, but I guess that'll all add to its character in time. Yeah, I think that'll come along all right. So I think I'll wrap this video up here. I was going to do 3 or 4 parts, but seeing as we actually did do the repot, and this is awkward. We'll go here. So yeah, I think we'll probably wrap this video up here. I was going to do 3 or 4 parts, but since we actually did get it out of its pot and put it in a bonsai pot, I'll probably just wrap this one up now. Yeah, it's come a long way since the beginning. It does have some weird shape to it, you know, from certain angles, but that's just the nature of collected trees, I think. You know, there was another one growing in through here, whether, I can't remember if it was this one that had another branch or whether it was another plant. So you get this big concave piece that's cut out of there that, you know, means that angle is basically unusable because of the reverse taper and this big ugly hump. But I think we've sort of made the best of what we've got, and it's starting to come along. If you can envisage, this is my vision for it, so we'll end up with some more branches out both these sides up here, and just this big triangular canopy, probably not down to there, maybe to here, roughly triangular canopy, and just covered in flowers would be awesome. This one gets orange flowers, so it's one you don't see. The purples and reds tend to be more popular. But yeah, it'll look really good covered in flowers. I'm pretty excited to see how it's going to look when it's in full flower. Once it's got a bit more of a branch structure, I think it'll look really good. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.